Hi, Cheryl 508. A little blurry. Hope you had a good Memorial Day weekend. Hope you took the time to remember why we have this vacation day. Okay, it's real important to remember the people that have helped serve us. Okay, so we're moving on to Tuesday the 26th, and we have normal physiological aging. And like I mentioned, this class is fast-paced, so basically each one of the systems could be the entire summer. We could talk about normal aging in cardiovascular, or normal aging in our senses, and we would basically, if we did a good job, a complete job, we would be taking up the entire 6 weeks. But we can't, so we have to just kind of take home messages, and that's what Christine and Kathleen has done for us with their PowerPoints. So thank you guys. And you can also couple that with the PowerPoint provided by the physicians from the University of Rochester that I posted. They really hone in on the cardiovascular changes, and that's important because, again, cardiovascular disease, cardiovascular decline, #1 cause of death in our country. Okay, right behind that is cancer, and we're going to go spend a lot of time on that as well. So, so as we go through the systems, remember that while the AgeWorks chapter and even the PowerPoint by Christine and Kathleen, you know, they separate out the systems so that we can look at them individually. But we are an integrated whole, and all the systems interact to give us our ability to kind of navigate the world. You know, so remember, if you have a kidney disease or a decline in kidney function, it also impacts your vascular system, and because your vascular system is impacted, that impacts the delivery of all the necessary goodies, which will impact the function of the heart, the function of the brain, and on and on and on. So it's kind of like a domino effect, and that's the way you have to look at it. But that being said, we can kind of hone in on some basic examples. I noticed in the discussion from the epidemiology that there was some commentary on nutrition, and really as it related to a loss in the senses, loss of taste, sensation, loss of smell. And because we lose that pleasure that we get from eating because of these basic changes that happen in aging, and they can be accelerated by disease, okay, that you're no longer goal-oriented. You know, if it's not pleasurable to eat, then you don't eat, and then that leads to malnutrition, and on and on and on. Okay, so you can see how the senses lead to malnutrition. Okay, poor absorption because you're not putting in food that you should be. Okay. Speaking of absorption, gastrointestinal system. Okay, because of basic changes in the gastrointestinal surface, you're not absorbing your vitamins and minerals the way you used to. Okay, so you have to be really cognizant that you are eating foods that have the necessary essential amino acids, the essential fatty acids, and all the minerals and vitamins that keep each one of your little machines, your cells, going optimally. And there are, as we'll see, a number of issues that happen in terms of B vitamin absorption, vitamin D, calcium, all these things that happen with aging. So we have to be really careful as we get older, and that's what you guys are going to be experts on, which is great. Alrighty. Remember the vascular system? It interacts with so many other aspects. Okay. You know, you get congestive heart failure. You feel like you're suffocating. It's because your blood is congesting in your lungs, and you're having really poor exchange of gases. Why did that happen? Well, it happened because of atherosclerosis. Okay, the pipes went bad, the heart muscle begins to die off, and then the pump doesn't work as well. Okay. Also, what would cause that? Well, we talk about the endocrine systems, and Kathleen and Christine did a great job on that. Okay, and with respect to the endocrine systems, then you look at the risk for diabetes. Just because we're getting older, we're a lot more. Our insulin receptors are not as good as they used to be, not as sensitive. Okay, you then pile on a bunch of crappy decisions in terms of your diet, your lack of exercise, and boom, you exceed the threshold and you become diabetic, and all the consequences come from that. Okay. Immune dysfunction, vascular disease, and I indicated we in the field often refer to as Alzheimer's disease as type 3 diabetes because of diabetes being so connected to people getting Alzheimer's disease as well. Okay, so basically supporting the discussion everybody has said about how we've got to get the message across, and these are the reasons why. We can sit here and pick it apart and say this happens because of this, but it comes down to the bottom line in changing our habits. Now, one thing, a little correction I want to make in terms of the PowerPoint that Kathleen and Christine put up. They mentioned the adrenal gland, its release of cortisol during stress, and so your basal cortisol levels can be a little bit higher in your aging, but stimulated cortisol tends to be much higher as we're older, not lower. And this puts us at risk for vascular disease and just a tearing down of our bodies, immune dysfunction. Okay, we've heard this over and over again. So the reason has to be the cortisol kind of has a kind of a terrorizing effect on our brains, and our brains usually will shut off the stress response. It's called negative feedback. But this negative feedback shows attrition, so that when you expose the same stressor to somebody that is 80 that you expose to somebody who is 20, they have a much higher release of cortisol because of the lack of negative feedback, and it stays higher for much longer. This is bad because cortisol causes a tearing down of the body. It basically destroys muscle and turns it into glucose, and so you get cortisol-related diabetes. It causes immune dysfunction, and so you're much more likely to get pneumonia and things like that. On and on. Okay, so good luck. I look forward to seeing which system you guys choose for having decline. I don't want any. I want to be Peter Pan. But great job, and we'll see you next time.